Hello everybody, welcome to week 6. So there's going to be a bunch of stuff to cover in this video, so please bear with me as we go through things hopefully pretty quickly. The first thing I want to talk about is the assignment 1. So it's been pretty well done, but there's been a little bit of confusion in terms of exactly what's expected. But for the most part, students have done well in the submissions I've seen so far. I haven't seen very much submitted in terms of the midterm essay, but hopefully we will get more of those submissions soon, and maybe I'll address issues with that or feedback with that in a future video if necessary. But let's have a look at the assignment 1. Susan has been kind enough to let me demonstrate her work for other students. It's always nice to share a student's work rather than my own answer key. So she did a really good job with these journal entries here. You see them like everything is properly aligned with the date. Debit on the left margin, credit on the right side, it indented a little bit. The only feedback I'd have for her at this point would be not to have dollar signs in your journal entry. That's typically not a common practice, and things just look a little bit cleaner if you don't have the dollar signs. But overall, a really good job. She paid attention to detail by taking the early payment and crediting the inventory account as you're supposed to do. She made sure that she entered in the revenue as well as the cost of goods sold expense for this transaction. And she also made sure that she recognized the sales discount upon the collection. So a really good job with the journal entries. And then we go into some of the adjusting entries here, right? For equipment, we had a month of depreciation for that. And if I'm not mistaken, Susan showed the calculation below, but $50 is correct, right? Take the cost minus the salvage value and divide it by, in this case, the number of months. So we had 1 month, really easy. It should work out to $50. And then the other journal entry to eliminate our office supplies, right? With office supplies expense. And then we go into the closing journal entry. So she does a really good job here of closing sales revenue, and then she closes all of her expense accounts in one shot here. So this is another little feedback, minor point, where depreciation expense generally doesn't have equipment. We do that we have that name of the asset for accumulated depreciation, right? Because that one showed up on the balance sheet. Generally speaking, depreciation expense just shows up as a total of all the depreciation on the income statement. So anyway, minor point there. We see here we have depreciation expense accounts along with all the other expense accounts closed, including sales discount. So really good job there. Final step is to move what's remaining after closing in income summary, move it to capital. So in this case, we debit income summary, that's the income that's temporarily in the income summary account, and we credit the capital account, increasing it, right? The last account that we close is the withdrawals account, right? So that reduces our capital balance by 1,000. So here's the calculation I was talking about for the monthly depreciation. So good job there showing your calculation. Moving on to T account. So I'm just going to scroll to the left a little bit. So another really nice job here. Again, I would watch the dollar sign. That would be my one feedback. Just try not to overdo the dollar sign. Put one at the top, put one at the bottom. That's all you really need. But you can see here that everything is really well structured, where we have references back to the journal entry, so we can track each number where it comes from. At the bottom, we have ending balance with dollar sign double underline. So it's really, really neatly done, and a really, really clean looking general ledger here with all your T accounts. So everything is everything is closed, right? So everything that's temporary has been closed. The closing entry has been included. The only one that hasn't been closed is income summary, which should also have been closed, right? Because we did make a journal entry to remove the 1340 out of it. If you remember, we talked about that. But again, Susan left a note here She said before closing, which is okay. She explained why it's left as is. Sheet here. Again, it's a really clean looking worksheet, starting with your unadjusted balances, then our adjustments, then we have our adjusted trial balance, and finally we move the numbers over for our income statement preparation and our balance sheet preparation. So some of you left this as is. This is not a complete income statement, nor is it a complete balance sheet. You actually want to have the three headings, very important. You want to have the proper structure, and you want to keep it as organized as you can. So if you look here, this is a really nice looking income statement. Again, it clearly states the name of the business, the nature of the financial statement, and for the quarter ended, right? So we know it's covering a 3-month period starting from January 1st to March 31st, right? So you have your sales revenues, right? You have all your expenses, and then you have your net profit shown at the bottom. So really easy to follow, really clean. Finally, we have our balance sheet, starting with cash. We have our equipment, we have our contra account, the clear calculation shown, we have our total asset. We have our liabilities, and we have our equity section, right? We're adding net profit, withdrawals, right? So typically this calculation is actually shown on the statement of retained earnings, right? Or a statement of owner's equity, whatever you want to call it. I guess owner's equity is a better name for it because we don't have retained earnings. But again, we have the ending equity balance, and then we can just confirm that total liability plus equity is 52,340 is equal to a total asset. So great job there, Susan. Thanks for letting us share. We're all benefiting from your great work. I really appreciate you allowing me to share that. Moving on to the other thing I wanted to talk about is basically the groups, right? So we're gonna have a couple of or four options here for signing up for a group project or case. So all of the cases are available for you, so you can have a look and see which one really piques your interest. And basically what you're going to do is when you want to add yourself to a group, you should be able to do that. Let me know if you can't. I'm just going to use this as an example where you can just drag and drop your name into the group that you want. So let me know if that worked for you. If that doesn't work, again, this is in the People tab, and then you have to just click on the Final Project tab within that tab. Okay, so hopefully that works for you. I'm aiming for about 7 students per group, right? So the max is set at 8, but there'll probably be some kind of evening up based on what the numbers are in the class right now to get 7 per group. So just be aware of that. One more thing that really quickly is that you have to cover a couple of modules this week, I think. If you scroll down to here, module 6 is a short module, and you'll see that the quiz is due on November 1st, right? So that honestly shouldn't take you very long to do a couple, and quiz 7 is also November 1st. A couple of modules this week, but just be aware of that. I understand it's kind of like it's been a busy time in our course, but you'll have a long stretch again where nothing will really be due other than weekly quizzes until the end of the course. So the work is going to pick up a little bit because of the group project, but as long as you keep on top of things, like work on your assignment as you go and work on your group project as the course proceeds, you should be in good shape to not be overwhelmed at the end of the course. If you haven't done so already, make sure you submit your midterm essay, make sure you submit your assignment 1, and make sure you submit your also your self-assessment for the midpoint in terms of discussion. So make sure you look at the rubric for that and give yourself a fair mark. All right, that's it for now. I will see you in Module 8.